And firstly, thank you to everybody for turning up and for welcoming us to the city of Liverpool. It's a fairly historic day for the city, for boxing, and for a city that has a rich history in the sport. To have Natasha Jonas with us, making her change over to professional boxing under the guidance of Goodwin Boxing and Steve, who sat with us, and obviously with a phenomenal trainer in Joe Gallagher, who we'll be speaking to later as well. Natasha, as I'm sure you're probably all aware, has a history that's very rich, very defined within the sport from the amateur setup. Stepped away from it for a number of years, has gone away, had a child, and is now coming back to take the sport of women's boxing by storm. Women's boxing in general has been on a high of late, and I'm sure we'll be discussing some of it during the afternoon. But I really wanted to pass over to Steve Goodwin and give him the opportunity to talk about how it's come about that he's working with Natasha Jonas and what it means really to Goodwin Boxing as a whole.
Thanks, Martin. It's a pleasure to be here in the fight capital of the UK, Liverpool. It's a phenomenal city for boxing. It's fantastic that we can see some of the Gallagher gym here, the Smith brothers, which is fantastic for them attending to support Natasha. My role is that I will be managing Natasha's career, both commercially and in the boxing ring alongside Joe Gallagher, who will obviously be having a major input into the boxing side of the career. Natasha came to me, we had a meeting about 2 months ago. I came up to see her in Liverpool. I think we gelled instantaneously, and you know, we're here to guide her, help her, and not only create a successful boxing career, but also ensure that when she finishes her boxing career, we've helped her create a career outside boxing as well, which is just as important. Natasha joins our team. She joins boxers such as Derek Chisora, Frank Buglioni, and 9 British Border Control champions that we look after. And I've got to say, it's a privilege to have Joe Gallagher on board as well, who is without doubt one of the finest trainers there is out there and the best trainer that Natasha could have gone to. Women's boxing is a very popular phenomenon in the UK at the moment. It is starting to expand. I believe that women's boxing over the next 18-24 months around the world will be phenomenal, and we believe that Tasha will prove to be the best women's boxer in the world, winning world titles at many weights. Yay! And we hope that the first one will be in the next within the next 18 months, and we're convinced that she'll be able to do it, and she will be the #1. Natasha not only brings boxing skills, she brings charisma to the world of boxing, and we believe that she is the best female boxer to make the transition over to professional boxing. She has the full package and the perfect transitional style. We are aiming, without doubt, to get her out probably May, June time, I think, and we will be talking to various promotional companies over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we would hope to be able to announce when she will make her debut in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But it's important that we secure the best options, the best deal and the best platform for her. The journey starts today for the world title. Liverpool has a new start.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'm fairly sure you're not going to get any disagreement with that from within the room. I think, look, we're going to come on to Natasha now. Look, Natasha, you're back. Can you tell us how's it come about? What's prompted it? We'll start there.
Well, really and truly, it's Tom Stalker's fault. But he's not here to defend himself, so it was just an idea that came along. I went back to my family and discussed it with them. They were all supportive. You know, I've got a little girl to look after now, so and yeah, from then on, it was an idea that snowballed. The next thing was to find a manager. Obviously, I found Steve, and then the next thing was to decide who I wanted to train me. And I thought of all the great coaches that are in England. I spoke to a lot of boxers that are in the game, and you know, Joe came highly recommended. I did have a good rapport with Joe throughout my amateur career, and you know, I asked him could I attempt to be part of the stable and add to his collection, and well, after the trial period he said yeah. So.
How great is it to see on your first, you're turning over today. You've got your gym mates here, the Smith brothers sat there, fantastic turnout from people in Liverpool, friends, family, just the general boxing public. How great a start to a boxing career is that, just to have that, alongside Joe and alongside Steve, just to be able to start off on that footing?
It's brilliant. I mean, thanks to everyone that's come. But I'm pretty much sure it's mostly my family, so so yeah, thank you. But Liverpool's always been a fighting town, and carrying on from what the Smiths have achieved, and they've always got behind all their fighters, no matter what, and I hope they can get behind me as well.
Excellent. And Steve spoke about world title ambitions within 18 months. Is that something that you mirror?
Well, Joe sent me a picture of the new World Championship belt. It's now my screensaver. So, yeah, so, it's always the aim to aim high. And, as long as I put the work in the gym, there's no reason why I can't.
You've been a history maker in the past. It's very well documented about being first female Team GB member, first female to box for Britain, as well as the achievements, the bronze medal in the World Championships, the gold in the inaugural British Championship. So is it that there's a possibility that you can make another piece of history and become that British world champion?
Definitely. I mean, throughout my career as a sports person in general, I've always been breaking down barriers. I've always done sports that girls didn't do. And I've never felt out of place. I've always felt comfortable where I was, and as long I know the drive and the determination inside of me is what keeps me going, and the focus of the big things at the end. And I didn't quite get the Olympic medal, but I've always got to whatever I've asked for, I've got.
Yeah. And I mean, how much are you hoping that the city of Liverpool will come out and back you as they back all of their biggest names, biggest stars? Because hopefully we'll see you on the TV screen soon, fighting in big arenas. How kind of spine-tingling is that for you just to think about? I know you've had it before at the Olympics and the country came out to back you, but how important spine-tingling to get the city behind you?
I mean, anytime we've fought at home, we have had a massive turnout. Obviously the Olympics, there's 10,000 people in the stadium all cheering for you, which doesn't happen very often when you're an international athlete. So just to be here at home with your home crowd supporting you, it's going to be massive, and I'm sure they'll drive me on to achieve good things.
And do you think we'll see you at the Echo Arena?
No doubt. That's down to Steve.
And in terms of working with Joe, how hard is it going to be to transition, do you think, from your amateur style to something that Joe's going to want out of you in the professionals? Or is that a question for Joe?
Yeah, I think that's a question for Joe.
Oh, you answered it, you're out there now.
Obviously the training's a lot different, but the work that we're doing now, I can see myself developing already. So, that's only going to come with experience and, getting the bouts under your belt. And obviously the main thing is that I've just got to listen to what he says. Yeah, Joe? Over to you.
We'll come back to that one for you, Joe, later. How helpful do you think it's going to be that it's started to become, although it's always been something that's been there in boxing, but it's possibly becoming more high profile, more noticeable, a number of amateurs that are making that transition into professional boxing? And does it take some of the pressure perhaps off yourself as a highly successful amateur that others have been there as well? And can you get the guidance as well off those that you were in London with?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the women in the women's game are all quite close to the people that you met on the circuit in every competition that you went to. So I do speak to them, but I'm lucky enough to have, 4 of the best boxers in Liverpool from our gym, plus Tony Bellew as well. So I've had quite a lot of guidance from them 4. I've spoken to Anthony Joshua, and they're able to help you and guide you, and on the decisions. Tom Stalker can, he can help you out. And for the women that have been there and gone, it's no pressure to me. I'm on my own little journey and on my own little path, but I think you always want to aspire to be like people, and you want, now that they've set a good example, we want to keep the standards high and follow that example and make more people interested in women's boxing. and want to watch it. You know, the more that happens and the more it's out there, the more young girls look at it and think, oh, I want to be like her, I want to do that. And the more people that do that, it means that both sports grows, both the amateur and the professional game, and it can only get better from here. The age just to start.
And do you think, as somebody who has previously transcended boxing into popular culture as well, you know, we've seen you on Sky Sports doing, you know, commentary and punditry pieces. Do you think that's something you're going to carry on into your professional boxing career? That, you know, hopefully we'll be able to see you in different medias as well as just in a boxing ring.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to keep your options open. I was lucky enough that when I finished the amateur boxing to have them opportunities there. So as long as them opportunities are still there, it's all about taking the opportunities that you've got in front of you, which is why I'm here.
What is it you're looking forward to most about being a professional boxer?
There's too many things. I think just being back in the ring, listening to the crowd again, and, you know, doing what I'm told.
And certainly in terms of women's boxing, I think we spoke the other day about it, but you want to be a flag bearer within the sport. You don't just want to be part of the motion, you want to be leading it.
Yeah. I don't intend to, you know, be a sheep lost in the crowd. You know, I want to be one of the leaders there. I want to be the shepherd, guiding the sheep through. So, we've always been seen as, you know, the road markers, whatever. But we want to keep it that way. I don't want to be lost in the crowd. I want to, you know, have my own journey and be as successful as everyone else.
Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha Jonas.